Hi everyone, my name is Lois and welcome to the Unite Students channel. If you haven't seen me already before, just a quick background for you. I graduated last year, yes I'm still making videos, and today's video, if you can tell by the title, is going to be a really important one. Each and every one of us goes through tough times at some point in our life and we all react differently, we all cope differently. 2020 has certainly not been easy. Whether you've suffered with your mental health for years or it's something that you're just starting to experience, or even if you've never had any issues with your mental health before, which I can't relate to personally, but either way, the uncertainty of the world right now is definitely something that is going to be creating anxiety for lots of people. And if you're starting university in September, then there's probably an added anxiety. You might be really excited just to get out to another city, another town, move away from home, but you also might be really apprehensive. You can be both those things at the same time, but I'm here to tell you that any feelings and any emotions that you're experiencing right now are totally normal. So in this video, I want to talk about how important it is to take care of yourself at university, even if you've never had any issues with your own mental health and struggling with your thoughts and anything like that, which, trust me, I'm with you guys if you have. It's still vital to check in with yourself when you're at university. Going to university for most people is usually so different than anything they've ever experienced before. It can also be really different than what we expect. I know that for me, when I first went to university, I was like, why has my life led up to this moment? I was so excited and I just came crashing down with this huge sense of disappointment that actually it wasn't going to be as fun as I thought it was going to be. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to be having those thoughts exactly. Everyone's university experience is different, but it is good to prepare yourself in the best way possible. There are some things you can do to keep on top of things mentally in your head. Some days you might want to just lie in bed and not do anything and feel sorry for yourself, and that's okay. I've had my fair share of those days. Literally, like the other day. But there are little things that you can do on a regular basis to manage your mental health and keep things at bay. I don't want to generalize things too much because I know that everyone has their own struggles and they're very different to each other, but these are just some of the few little things that I found that were really useful and helped me to check in with myself. The first point I want to make is something that I think people don't really think about, and that's to actually tell the people around you what you're struggling with. There is absolutely no shame in struggling with your thoughts, in struggling with anxiety, depression, OCD, eating disorders, anything you can think of, there is no shame. By explaining to your flatmates or your course mates or the people that you're spending time with that actually some days you might not be very communicative, you might ignore them on Facebook, or you might not be very engaged in the conversation when you're with them. By explaining that that may happen and you don't necessarily have to go into detail about why you may act like that, it's so important because they will have warning and they will know that you're not just ignoring them, and they can hopefully offer the support that you need. My second point is quite broad, but it's still really useful, and that is to just keep an eye on your habits. Whether it's eating, sleeping, drinking water, drinking alcohol, partying, anything like that. I know it's easy to get caught in the university bubble socializing, and I don't know what it's going to be like in September with social distancing, but whenever you move to a new place and meet new people, those people don't necessarily know what your normal is. They don't know your normal routine. They might not know what your usual average weight is. I'm not saying that that's an important thing, but in terms of eating habits, if you're starting to lose weight, which is something that I struggled with in first year, my flatmates didn't really know because this started happening as soon as I moved to university, and it wasn't until that I went home at Christmas that all my friends at home were like, oh my gosh, Lois, you've lost so much weight, what's going on? And I was like, oh, maybe I'm depressed. Also, I should just say I am by no means trying to make light of this topic, and I'm not trying to joke about anything. I've truly had my own struggles, and I'm just trying to help you guys understand that it is okay to not feel great, and it's okay to have the conversation and have it in a positive way rather than having this cloud looming over you, which I know I definitely had. So yeah, I'm not joking around in this video, I'm just trying to stay positive. Anyway, back on track. It's super important to keep track of your habits, so sleeping, eating, And if you realise that anything is out of the ordinary, if you realise that you're not sleeping very well, or you're drinking lots more alcohol compared to your flatmates or anything like that, once you realise that maybe there's something out of the ordinary, then you can decide whether you need to seek help from your friends, your family, the university, anything like that. It's super important to reach out when you need help. Even if it's something small, there are people out there that are happy to help you. My third point is to keep a journal. Now, a lot of you are probably going, ugh, that sounds like so much effort and I'm just not gonna do that. Then that's totally fine. But even if it's not a journal, even if you just write down how you're feeling every now and then, just getting your thoughts out of your head and onto a piece of paper does wonders. Just because you have a sad thought in your head or a thought that you're not good at something or that people don't like you does not mean that it's true. It's so important to take an objective view of your thoughts, and when you write them on paper you can distance yourself from them. This is what is currently in my head right now. Lay it all out and you can actually see it written down, bullet pointed, however you want to write it, however you want to express it. You can always come back to them in your head and dwell on them, and that's fine, but having them written down is really, really useful. If you're feeling good, say that you had a good day, and then you can look back on that and think, yeah, I had a good day then, that means I can have another good day. If you're feeling down and you write that you're feeling down, and then you pick yourself up and you write that you picked yourself up, then you can look at that and you can reflect and you can see, yes, I have been through this before, I have managed to pull myself through, I can do it again and again and again. Which brings me on to my final point, which is something I've actually only just learned in the last few days, and I think it's so useful for everything in life, and that is to smooth out the curve. This is a concept that I learned from Jack Conte, who is the CEO of Patreon, which I'm sure you guys have all heard of, so go and check his stuff out. He's really, really just such a genius, but also very down to earth and struggles with a lot of stuff that I've struggled with. And he basically explains in one of his videos that no matter how many days you have where you feel you haven't achieved anything, or you've worked really hard for an assignment and you get a grade which was a lot lower than you expected, those days are not a reason for you to start a downward spiral of hating yourself or feeling sorry for yourself or feeling regret or feeling that you never should have started this course or feeling that you aren't as good as your course mates, anything like that. In life, the graph goes like this, right? You have up days, you have down days. But overall, if you zoom out, you can see that actually it's constantly going up. That line of skill of what you're learning at university, even things like social skills, anything in life, you are improving constantly, and as long as you don't give up, that line will constantly go up. And if you zoom out, you can smooth out that curve, and those down days and those up days will all become one, and you will realize how much you're improving and how far you've come. As you can see, most of the points I've said in this video are all about expressing yourself and getting your feelings out and talking to someone and reaching out. Please do not try and hold things in, because that only bottles them up and makes things worse. Obviously, if you don't know where to look for help, there'll be some links in the description of this video that you can have a look at when you like. And of course, if ever you want to reach out to me, my links will be in the description as well. I hope this video hasn't been too hard-hitting or anything, but I just really thought it was important to talk about. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Any other suggestions of ways to cope with mental health issues as well, please put them in the comments below. I'm sure everyone will appreciate them. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.